Hey! And this is the story of how I accidentally saved a fugitive murderer, and then almost got arrested for it. Let me explain. So, last Tuesday, I was having the laziest of lazy days. I'm talking full-on reality TV marathon. A family-sized pack of cookies just for me. You know? Living the dream. When suddenly, my doorbell rings. I wasn't expecting anyone, which, if you're an introvert like me, is basically the start of a horror movie. I peeked through the peephole, then cautiously opened the door. And there he was, a man absolutely covered in mud from head to toe, panting like he'd just run a marathon, and clutching a giant, bulging duffel bag. He looked completely and utterly terrified. He gasped out, "Is this 123 Maple Street?" I kind of blinked at him, still holding a cookie midair. "No, this is 124 Maple Street," I said, pointing to my neighbor's house right next door. The man froze, all the color drained from his face. He whispered, "Oh no, oh no, 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 no! I'm in the wrong house." Before I could even ask what was wrong, he barged past me into my living room. He slammed the door shut, locked it, and for good measure, shoved my favorite armchair right up against it. Then he started pacing back and forth, like a caged animal. I'm just standing there, completely bewildered, cookies still in hand. Finally, I managed to squeak out, what's going on?" He stopped his frantic pacing and just stared at me with these wide, panicked eyes. "You don't know who I am, do you?" I slowly shook my head. No, I don't think so. Should I?" He let out the biggest sigh of relief I have ever heard. "Thank goodness! I was so worried you might recognize me from the news." "The news!"
My brain started worrying. Then it clicked.
Like a puzzle piece slamming into place. This was Tony the Whisker Malone. A fugitive. Wanted for murder. He'd been all over the news for weeks. A ghost on the run. But here's the thing. He didn't look like a murderer. At all. He was wearing a hoodie with a cute cartoon cat on it, had a massive coffee stain on his pants, and frankly, looked more like he'd just lost a fight with a vending machine. I had to ask, "Are you, really a killer?"
I asked, as awkwardly as humanly possible.
He looked at me, a small, tired smile creeping onto his face, and said, "I mean, technically, yes, but it's a really long story." "Want some cookies?" "What?" I was so stunned that I just automatically offered him my bag of cookies. Because, I don't know. My mom raised me not to be rude, even to potential criminals. He took one, then another, then shoved 3 into his mouth at once. Between mouthfuls, he started explaining his side of the story. Apparently, he'd been wrongfully accused. It was all a huge, ridiculous misunderstanding involving a surprise birthday cake, a runaway pet rabbit, and a very confused man in a clown costume.
I am not even joking.
As he was rambling on about his innocence, my phone buzzed.
I looked at the caller ID. It was the local police department. My heart leaped into my throat.
I answered, trying to keep my voice steady. "Hello, ma'am. We have reason to believe the fugitive Tony Malone may be in your area. Have you seen him?" I froze. My eyes darted to Tony, who was now trying to balance a cookie on his nose. I took a deep breath. "Well, technically, he's standing right in front of me," I said, trying to sound casual, like this happens all the time. There was a long pause on the other end. They didn't believe me. Not one bit. And that's how I, Katie, a professional cookie eater, became the unwilling accomplice to a fugitive. I had to get him out of my house before the cops, who were now on their way to check the premises, arrived. But Tony, bless his heart, was a well-meaning idiot. His brilliant escape plan, he decided to hide in my bedroom closet, still holding that giant, suspiciously heavy duffel bag. He had no plan. He had no idea where he was. And I noticed he was wearing cat-themed socks that matched his hoodie. Sure enough, the police showed up. There was no hiding him. They found him almost immediately, cowering behind my winter coats. They took him away. But not before he managed to give me a quick, awkward hug and promised he'd send a thank you card for the cookies. So, yeah. Not exactly the lazy Tuesday I had planned.
My life is weird.
If you want to hear more stories about how my life is a magnet for chaos, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.